Welcome to Quilting with Dawn, Part 10, the final episode. Well, we're almost done on the kitty quilt here. This time around, for this episode, which is the final episode, we're going to bind it. So that's a relatively straightforward process. You cut the binding, attach the binding to one side of the quilt, and then after that you sew the other side. Roll it over, sew the other side. It should be that simple. What could go wrong? I am doing a 2.5 inch binding, and when you're assembling the binding into one long strip, paying attention to how you sew the seams because they're going to be at 45 degrees. But I'll explain that. I need about 250 inches of binding, so that is 7 2.5 inch strips with the fabric. That will give me plenty. So I'm going to cut 7 strips, make it into one long binding strip, iron it on itself, and then start sewing it on the quilt. Alright, time to cut some fabric. Yeah. I've wrapped it into 4 layers. So I'm getting pretty good at cutting 4 at a time. I cut my first edge, make it nice and true. So, that's it. We're going to quickly walk you through how I do these mitered or 45 degree angled seams on the binding. It's very simple actually. It's using a bit of geometry. What you do is you lay down your first piece in one direction, and then you take your second piece and you lay it down in the other direction in a 90 degree difference. So, like this. And then you pin them, and then you sew along the diagonal. And if you've done it right, and if you've sewn it exactly from where they intersect each other in the corners, it works. That's the theory. That is the theory. So I'm going to pin, boink, boink, and another pin, boink, boink. So I'm going to take this cool gadget that Carolyn has. It's a pencil with a white lead in it. I can see it on the black material. I'm going to draw my line, and then sew it. Draw and sew. There we go. Lined up. My line. Got to sew on the line, of course. That's, yeah. Don't need the guide. You go right down the center of the thing. And that's it. So let's see if it's going to work. So when you open it up, you get a nice 40, and it looks good. That's it. Success. I have, and I measured it. Turns out I need 280 inches, not 250. I checked my math. It wasn't, I just went off memory the first time. Anyway, I have more than 280 inches of one long binding strip. Actually, about 285 inches. So I did it. No unsew is required, and it's a work of art. Well, yeah, whatever. I've got everything set up. I pressed my binding in half. Tedious, but easy. And I've got the opened ends along the edge of the back of the quilt, because I'm going to sew this binding on both top and bottom, or rather front and back. Because I'm doing it that way. It's the easier way, it's the faster way, and it's also because that's the way I want to do it. I've got the binding over my right shoulder per my quilting consultant's recommendation, and we're just going to start sewing. And there she goes. This theoretically is simple. No pinning. This scares me. Alright. I just had a pin to start me off. There we go. Removed it, and away we go. Carolyn explained to me how to do the corners. It's going to involve a 45-degree angle, triangle, and a pencil, the white pencil. I make a 45-degree line, and it's going to do two things. It's going to tell me where to sew on my way out, as it were, to the point, and it's also going to show me where to fold to make my binding proper. So I'm drawing the 45-degree line now. There. Here we go. I sew to the line, then sew my way out on the line, fold the binding, fold it over on itself, down to the next in the next direction, turn the fabric, and if I've done everything correctly, there it works. Turn the fabric, needle is down, sew my way out. Here's the tricky part, without ripping everything out of the machine here. There we go. Sew my way out. And out. Cut it. And now here comes the fun part. You fold it on the line, 45 degrees, straight to the corner, theoretically. There it is. You can tell it's 45 because it lines up. Like that. Sweet. Right, turn the fabric. I've got my finger press. I got everything lining up now, and we start again. Tricky part, extra tricky part, is that you got a lot of fabric to go through here. So you gotta make sure you got your fingers on the threads. Ask me how I know. Boink. Boink. And boink. 3 stitches in by hand. We should be good to go power. That's the theory. And punch it up. Come on, you. I have now done the binding all the way around on the back, except for these 2 tails here. Now there's a good tutorial video on the interweb, on YouTube. So if I can figure out how to get the YouTube to show it, I'll give you a link to it. I can't take credit for it. Carolyn made me watch it, and it was very informative. It's actually another guy does it, so it must be good, right? But he explains it very clearly. Here we go, Carolyn again. The guy explains very clearly how to do this mitered border with the tails. All right, so I'm not going to explain it because he's already explained it. I'll hopefully give you a link to it. In any case, I'm going to do that now. Good morning, and welcome to day 2 of the final part of Quilting with Dawn, part 10. That never gets old, does it? I did finish the first go around of the binding, and you can see it behind me on the quilt top, or on the quilt wall. It's a roughly a 2-step process to be followed to finish it, according to my quilting advisor. You iron the binding around to the front, and in so doing, you either pin it or clamp it, or as Carolyn advised, glue it. So I'm going to go with the glue option, and that will then make sure that the binding on the front is nice and straight and looks perfect. So that's what I'm going to do. Iron it, glue it, sew it with the walking foot, and that should be done. Well, I've done it. I mean, I've done the first of the 2 steps I talked about. So I ironed and glued. So if you can just see here, there is the front of the glued but not sewn binding. And it goes, of course, all the way around there. And here is the back. This is sewn. The back is sewn. And there we go. Back is sewn. And the front is not. So Carolyn tells me to use a walking foot. Because it's glued, it should stay fairly stable. Well, yeah, we will find out. Carolyn helped me set up. You now see I'm on her big oak table because it gives the quilt lots of place to hang out while I'm sewing, so I'm not wrestling with it like I was when I was doing the back side of the border, because I was fighting it. Hopefully I'm not fighting it as much this time. We've set me up where I'm just at the first corner. Still gotta take my slippers off. Professor foot sorted.
Actually, I got more space for my feet this time than I did with the other sewing table. This might be a luxury. Okay, so I gotta go really slow because I'm about to start the corner. But what we did here is we use a walking foot now instead of a regular foot. And I'm using the same technique for guiding it as I did when I applicate, well, you know, see, when I applicate the kitties. I've got the center of the presser foot as my guide for where I want to sew, and I've offset the needle inside the binding to the right by about, let's say, 1/8 of an inch. So we're going to have a nice tight seam to the edge of the binding, to the inside edge of the binding. That's the theory. That should be. Right on target.
Slower.
Why slower?
Because it helps the feed dogs to work.
Okay.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when we live in our dream. Everything is better when we stick together. Side by side, you and I gonna win forever. Let's party forever. We're the same, I'm like you, you're like me. We're all working in harmony. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of the team. Everything is awesome.
Okay, I have done one full side of the quilt, and I was doing a quick check, but I think it's going really well. So I won't subject you to me watching me sew for the next 3 sides, but it's looking really good. The nice and close to the edge, nice and close to the edge, and it looks even on the other side as well. So I'll report back after I've done another little bit. Getting there. I've now done 3 sides, and no issues. I did run out of bobbin thread there on the second side. Replaced the bobbin. No issues. Did the 3rd side, and now I will start the 4th. Getting there. Almost done. Almost done this whole project.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of the team. Everything is awesome when we live our dream.
And done. And really done. This is it. I have just done the last step. Yay! In my Lap Kitties quilt. Give me a second, I'll throw it on the wall and we'll talk. And done. This concludes Quilting with Dawn's construction of the Lap Kitties quilt. I'll tell you, it's been quite the adventure. Anyone who says quilting and sewing is easy is either never done it or has been doing it a really long time. It is not easy. It is not simple. It involves math. It involves precision. It involves artistry. It involves technique. It involves a lot of different skills that you apply throughout your life that you need for quilting. So I got to give my hat off to Carolyn, my quilting advisor, who every step of the way, and you know this, anyone who knows Carolyn knows this, that she's always there to tell me, to give me a good advice. I was going to say to tell me what to do, but that wouldn't have sounded right. She's always there. She's supporting me 100%. So there is no possible way I could have ever done this by myself. It would not have turned out like this. It would not have turned out like this. Like all of this. It was awesome. So yeah, it's been a good ride. I've really enjoyed this. Thanks for staying tuned through the entire all 10 episodes. And you know it wouldn't be complete without doing something to toast. So what I've got here, before I sign off, because this is a local quilt and it's personal to us, I went with a local whiskey. This is from Shelter Point. And this one is called Smoke Point. It's wonderful. So, cheers. Happy quilting. Remember, don't drink and quilt. Slanjava.
Good day, and welcome to Don's first installment. Try it again.
Yeah, still get to go skiing because snow stays in the mountains where it belongs.
Now, if I've done this right, yep, I missed a section. So that's all right.
Can you hear the sea lions in the background? They're complaining about the snow, I think. Or they're loving it, I'm not sure which.
Finished. Finished the 6. Start again. I'm working without a guide now. Ruh-roh. You can hear it in the camera, but there's a cat in the background that's snoring. Meow. And there's Robert. He's saying it's time quick too. Well, did I mention we like our kitties? We do. Smooth. The guy would just bash on ahead, but I'm telling you, if you don't read the instructions, well, you'll get wonky results, right? I do believe I had my tongue sticking out there. Whoa! Aha! The presser foot got stuck under the table here and activated itself. That was pretty wild. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, slow down. The anal part of me is going to say, I see it! And I cannot unsee it. Whoa. Okay, I don't know what happened there, but I've got a wow in my fabric. Hope they're not all like that. You know what? You gotta be precise or you pay the price. Write that down. Be precise, pay the price. Full throttle time. Sounds like a monster truck show. Full throttle. Sewing. So we shall see how long we can go before we have to go. I've never done something this big.